Hello? I'm doing something a little bit different this morning. I wonder if I'll be able to see when people pop on. Somebody let me know if you are here. Oh, there's Tori. Okay, I have one person. Good morning, FedEx man. I am outside walking today. Ooh, we got some more people. Rita, oh, I can't see with my polarized sunglasses. Rita and Zach, hello and good morning. It is a sunshiny and beautiful day here in Williamson County, Texas. And I am walking. I'm waiting for some folks to pop on. You sit and refresh 70 times until you see it. That's funny. Hey, good morning, Tiffany. This is Brushy Creek right here. Usually a heron is somewhere around here. We have a nesting heron in here. There's some ducks over there too. And I walk in my neighborhood every day, pretty much. Every day since the quarantine has started. And I pass all the people. Oh, look at this puppy. Good morning. And I want you to know that it's the thing that has kept me as sane as I am during all this. I am currently, in this moment, very grumpy because in the span of 10 minutes, I discovered that one of my children had ruined my favorite sweatshirt. And another child had ruined one of my roses. So I'm feeling rather grumpy about that. And I'm walking it off. Walking it off because Mama's feeling grumpy. And I have been with these people for, this is week 6 now of being quarantined with children. They're just doing their thing. They're just being kids. They're just playing. Sometimes it annoys me, and sometimes I just have to embrace some forward motion. So we got some more people. There's Naomi, Matthew. Sunshine and exercise. This is nice. I can see all the comments. It's great. Probably my neighbors think that I'm a nutcase because I'm just talking to my phone while I'm walking. But I wanted to talk to you about something called SOLVITUS AMBULANDO. She's in timeout from homeschool. I feel like that's what I'm into. This is Mama timeout so that Mama doesn't yell about things. So that I just can try to remain chill and not freak out about my roses and my sweatshirt. It's stupid, but you know what? We're all cooped up together. And we all need our space, and it's the way it is. So, Aurelia has an aunt. Her name is Tina. And Tina's a really cool person. And I usually just pretend that Tina is my aunt too. Because she's really cool and I like her a lot. And she has walked the Camino de Santiago. If you don't know what the Camino de Santiago is, it's about a 500-mile pilgrimage. There are various starting points, but a lot of people start in France. And basically you walk all the way across Spain to the cathedral. I can't remember the exact name for it, but it's the Cathedral of St. James, where reportedly the bones of St. James are buried. So it is a very popular pilgrimage for people to take a walk. It was one of the world's most popular walking pilgrimages. And Tina went on it. And one time she was here and I noticed that on her forearm wrist area, she has a tattoo. And the tattoo says SOLVITUS AMBULANDO. Oh, Tina and Lisa both walked it. Lisa's done it twice. Okay, I'm saying that, yeah. Well, I talked to Tina about it. And she has this tattoo that says SOLVITUS AMBULANDO. And I know, because I know Spanish, and I know what the word ambulatory means. So I knew it had something to do with walking, but I was asking her, what does that mean? She said, SOLVITUS AMBULANDO means all is solved by walking. And I loved that because I too have a strong theology of walking, a strong theology of forward motion helps human beings process emotions and move stagnant energy, and that what we do in the physical reflects but also impacts what we do on emotional level or on the spiritual level. And so I also have a strong theology of walking, and that's just what I wanted to share about this morning. See, here's a neighbor, and she's gonna think that I'm crazy probably for talking to my phone. But whatever, all is vanity. So within the theology of walking that I hold is that for me, embodiment is what I'm going to talk about tonight in full spectrum, which is our small group that we're doing on, sorry, that's like backlit or something, which is our small group that we're doing on various types of prayer, various forms of prayer. And so I am very into thinking about how our embodiment and our spirituality are intertwined, and how what we do in the body is reflective and impactful for what we do in the spiritual. And I have found great solace in my life at various times in walking, and that bringing this energy of forward motion both soothes and helps me to work through emotions, to process trauma, to process grief, to work through anger, to express lament. And I find that for me, walking is a very simple and very primal form of prayer, just as is breathing, because I think that anything that we intend to be prayer is prayer. Any action that I consciously say, this is my prayer, this walk is my prayer, this dishwashing session is my prayer, whatever it is. So I now, okay, I understand that I have a certain amount of privilege. I live in suburbia, in a neighborhood where the streets are plenty safe for me to, wait, Tiffany, were you gonna walk Tiffany was gonna walk the Camino. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm gonna do it someday. Probably not till my kids are in high school though. What was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. I knew that this was a risk with trying to walk. Somebody remind me what I was saying. Anyway, anything's a prayer. Yeah, anything and everything can be a prayer. So if I walk with the intention of my movement being a prayer, but then I understand that I have a great deal of privilege. I have a privilege in the fact that my streets are safe to walk in. And I have privilege in the fact that I am able-bodied, that my body is strong enough and has the capacity to walk pretty much whatever distance I decide to walk. So I am not exactly sure how that translates towards folks who have disabilities. And I also know that this is a very difficult time. Like, for instance, I have close friends who are living in urban environments and they're basically stuck inside. So how do you get the benefit and the walking therapy? I don't really know, but here's what I do know is that this is what my favorite yoga teacher says. Her name is Angela. Hey, Angela, I love you. Angela says, motion is lotion, and that motion helps us work out the kinks. And she even teaches like chair yoga for folks who don't have the physical capacity to stand for long periods or whatever. So I guess my challenge to you is, how can you, using whatever tools you have and whatever availability you have, get creative? Yes, Rita, you live in Chicago. My dear friend lives in Chicago also, and he's having a hard time because he can't walk the streets or the parks or anything. And I think it's taking a toll on a lot of people's mental health to not be able to get outdoors. So I understand that that's a privilege, but I guess I'm speaking mainly to people who live around me. And I guess my challenge is, how can you bring the energy of forward motion, the energy of that idea that motion is lotion, and that we can help ourselves process grief and trauma and hard things by allowing our body to move energy through it, and by allowing our breath, our lungs to bellow and move it through, and our muscles and our lymph to flow throughout our body. So how can we do that creatively if you don't have access, or if you do, maybe you just need a more conscious intention to say, okay, I'm going to do this one juicy thing for myself today that is, that gives me a sense of joy, that grounds me in my physical body, that makes my body feel good, that practices love and nourishment and acceptance toward my body. And I think this is just part of our theology of play and our theology of enjoyment. And I so loved yesterday when Matthew was dancing, which was amazing, and I loved it, and also just reminded me of so many things. So within historical Christianity, we don't think of historical Christianity having a particularly strong dancing component to it. Wait, I'm reading some. So, and then a lot of Protestant evangelicalism has discouraged dancing as it being too sensual. And I just think all of that is malarkey. I think the body is made to be sensual, and we are made to enjoy our embodiment, and the body is a sacred temple, and that's so much of what I'm going to talk about this evening in Full Spectrum, if you want to get on our Zoom call with us. And it reminded me, Matthew's dancing reminded me of King David in the Old Testament, when they bring the Ark of the Covenant into the city, and he strips off all his clothes and dances naked in the streets. And obviously Matthew wasn't naked, but it was just this act of uninhibited, embodied joy that I think is so antidotal to what we have going on right now. And that is, I think, a practice of resistance. And King David says, when all the people are like, what the hell are you doing? Are you nuts? You're naked in the street dancing. And then he's like, I'll be even more undignified than this. And I just think that's so beautiful. And it also made me think of Miriam, the sister of Moses, who sang this famous song and danced with her tambourine after the Israelites crossed crossed through the Red Sea on dry land. So I think it's actually false to say that there's not a historical or a scriptural precedent within Christianity to be embodied and to express embodied joy. And I personally think that's malarkey, and I think we have a lot of reclaiming to do as people of faith, as people who follow Christ. and who practice this incarnational faith. And I think that we do well. I think we are healthier when we reclaim our embodied experience as something that is fundamentally good. There was a lot of leaping. Yes, we can make a lot of jokes about leaping and theological metaphors. So, I think good practiced Christianity involves and encompasses a theology of embodiment and a theology of walking. I think, this is kind of a rambling talk, but I'm just saying things that I'm thinking of this morning. The road to Emmaus is the lectionary text for this Sunday. I really is going to preach on it. And I've already written my liturgies for the week that are surrounding the story of the road to Emmaus when Christ meets. There's a couple of disciples right after the resurrection. They're walking some distance. I think it's at least like a 5 or 6 mile distance to another town. And Christ appears to them on the road, and they don't realize that it's him. But he just walks with them, and he talks, and he just be's an embodied person. He just is embodied next to them, walking. And I think it's such a beautiful metaphor for how we walk, even if we aren't physically able to actually walk. I think there's you can find forward motion in wheeled objects like wheelchairs or whatnot. So, good morning. So there's a lot of Christian, historical, scriptural, and not to mention all of the precedents that comes from other traditions, Native American traditions and non-Protestant traditions and Hindu and Vedic traditions and indigenous traditions. So we're the ones who are odd. The Christians are the ones who are odd, who have rejected embodiment, who've rejected dancing, who have rejected ritual. We're the odd ones out here in terms of like world culture and human culture. Anyway, I hope that you will find some way to incorporate the motion is lotion concept into your life today, that you will ground down into your juicy and beautiful and perfect body, that you will exercise your capacity to create movement in this world in whatever way, whether it's doing chair yoga or taking a walk for 1 block or taking a walk for 1 mile or 5 miles. Ground down into your juicy body. Oh yeah, Judaism has so much dancing, which was David and Miriam's tradition of pre-Judaism, early Judaic traditions, which our Christian traditions then come out of. But then we got to Puritanism, and we got to the Protestant Reformation, and we rejected a lot of our theology of embodiment. So let's not do that anymore. Let's put our feet on the ground and feel the grass and the earth and feel the sun shining on our bodies and feed our bellies good things that make us feel joy and give ourselves movement that brings us into a greater sense of presence on this earth. That's my blessing and my challenge for you all today. I love you all. I'm sending you so much love. I will look at the comments more once I am done doing my walking. Bye. Love ya.